Get down here to class, 1232 North King Street, Wilmington, Delaware.
Shalom, Lord in Christ, to my brothers and sisters, man. Y'all need to come down to 1232 North King Street, where the truth resides, man. ISUPK Delaware. We definitely representing doing some big things.
202 North DuPont Boulevard in Smyrna, Delaware.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Come and be a part of this rising thing that we got going on here in Delaware.
I hear everybody claiming that they love the Lord and love God and all that. Well, get in here and show it. You know what I mean? The scriptures say faith without works is dead. So if you ain't doing nothing, your faith is dead. So get up and do something. What you need to do is get your ass up and get in the class. You understand what I'm saying? You ain't doing nothing else. You're sitting home wasting time. Everything is going on around you, and you don't know how to compartmentalize these things. You understand? I'm on my way to class right now, like you should be. You know what I'm saying? Class don't stop for nothing.
It's a rare condition this day and age to read in a newspaper page. Love and tradition of the grand design. Some people say it's even harder to find.
It's not plant because it's not
Some magic clue inside these gentle walls. 'Cause all I see is a tower of dreams. Real love bursting out of every scene. We're gonna fill our house with happiness, but we'll smother the blues with tenderness. There's room for you, room for me, for gentle hearts and opportunity. It's the bigger love of the family.
Testing 1, 2, 3. No, that's not. Oh yeah. Testing. All right, let's get it. All right, you mother. I'm not scared of you. All right, let's get it. All right, so what is today's class on? It sounds better? Okay. All right. So what I want everybody to do is if you're not already subscribed to ISUPK Delaware, if you could subscribe to ISUPK Delaware, really appreciate it. What else? Hold on. Like this?
No. I'm backstage too.
If I add you to the stage, it's gonna come like this.
No. It's fine. No sweat.
Okay. Let me see. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Young man Wing. Okay. All right. What we're gonna talk about today is endurance, man. I think it felt right to talk about it because so many of us we fall off because we have a lack of endurance. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted to kind of, just go into it a little bit, drop something on y'all, and then we'll be up out of here. All right. So the first thing I want to do is I want to ask anybody if they got any questions, and we'll start off with that.
So 1 moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a question. It's in Judges 3. I'm gonna get to a spot here.
All right, the brother got a question in Judges. You got the mic?
Not a long time.
All right, no sweat. Whenever you're ready, you got it.
All right. So the question is Judges 3, 1 through 2. Somebody had asked me the question. They told me to hold it because they didn't have time to get the answer. But before I give them an answer, I just wanted to make sure that I was on point with it.
Okay.
And I'll go ahead and read it. 1 second. Let me just.
I'm going to get there with you.
Count out of one count.
Judges 3 and 1. It ain't going to work? All right.
It was Judges 3 and 1.
Okay. Okay, go ahead. You got it.
Count out of one count. The book of Judges, chapter 3, verse 1. Now these are the nations which the Lord left to prove Israel by them, even as many of Israel as had not known all the wars of Canaan. So they were focusing on not the prove part, because I believe they understand that, because I've spoken with them about it before, but the wars part that they haven't known, and I keep reading.
Okay, so those are even people that didn't go to war with them. Who, you know what I mean? Just extra, like people that were there around, even let's read. Okay.
And the subject of
We'll go up to verse 20. So this is Judges. Okay, go ahead.
Judges 2 and 20?
Yeah.
The book of Judges, chapter 2 and verse 20.
Right, because when you the book of Judges, right? When you look at the book of Judges, you just see like a bunch of times we just keep going in, we just keep messing up and messing up and messing up and messing up. You know what I mean?
Right.
Keep going. Go ahead.
And the anger of the Lord was hot against Israel. And he said, because that this people have transgressed my covenant, which I commanded their fathers, and have not hearkened unto my voice, I also will not henceforth drive out any from before them of the nations which Joshua left when he died, that through them I may prove Israel.
Right, like meaning the Lord is always going to have like that opposition there now.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because like before, like if we went there and there wasn't no other nations there, it'd be fine. It'd be great. That's what everybody want, right? That's what Israelis is trying to do right now. They trying to live in that land without nobody there that is going to be there. That's going to be any opposition to them, right? Keep going.
That through them I may prove Israel whether they will keep the way of the Lord who walk therein.
Right. That's still happening today. It's still happening today.
Right.
They all around us today, just for the sake of the class, they're all around us. You know, the East Indians, the Japanese, the Koreans, they're still in our neighborhoods right around us to prove us. And what happens? We fail. Every year, every single day, we fail. Right? Go ahead.
Verse 23. Therefore, the Lord left those nations without driving them out hastily. Neither delivered he them into the hand of Joshua.
Right. So it says that the Lord left those nations without driving them out hastily. Because remember, when the Lord is with you, we win. We win. Everybody gone. What is it? You know which one I want? Isaiah Ward 5 and 21. What's that? Is that Ecclesiasticus 5 and 21? Where it says, if letting my Lord now pass by, if it's any sin found in these people, it might be Ezra. Judith, yeah, Judith, 5 and 21. If you can pull that, 5 and 21. Go ahead.
And if I could, that's definitely something that I'll be able to break down to them, further the way you broke it down.
You there? Now keep going. I don't want to cut you off, so I'll get
their question. Also, and they may have been kind of reading it a little different than what the scripture is saying, but they were saying that there was a generation of Israelites that didn't know war, and it's saying that they're supposed to be taught war, and how do we teach our generation war now, as far as how should we be going into war. But I'm not sure that verse 2 is actually saying that in Judges 3 and 2.
Okay, you want to look at it like, okay, when Okay, they didn't have to go to war because the Lord left them there.
Right.
You get my point? Remember when we drove out the other nations, we had to go to war with the other nations. So now that the Lord has us there, they're coexisting with us there. And we don't, like this generation, we don't know war either.
Right.
What do we know about war? Huh? Even today, 2024, what do this generation know about war? There ain't been no wars in America. Where have we known war at? The only war we've ever been in is civil rights. War against, we didn't go, we wasn't at war with them in slavery. We was in slavery. We never knew war, right? Because the Lord left the nations to prove us. You get my point? So we didn't have to go to war. That generation didn't have to go to war with them to drive them out because they were there to prove us. You get my point? Gotcha. Keep going. Let me pull that one real quick with Isaiah Ward.
Oh, God, sir. This is the book of Judah, chapter 5 and verse 21.
Mm-hmm.
But if there be no iniquity in their nation,
Mm-hmm.
let my Lord now pass by, lest their Lord defend them and their God before them, and we become a reproach before all the world.
Mm-hmm.
You want
Say
to
it one more time.
But if there be no iniquity in their nation, let my Lord now pass by, lest their Lord defend them
Mm-hmm.
and their God before them,
Mm-hmm.
and we become a reproach before all the world.
Right. That's what happens when the Lord is with you.
Yeah.
We don't lose. You know what I mean? A good chapter you can read is Wisdom of Solomon, the 10th chapter, about we'll read a little bit of it just for the sake of this argument. Go ahead. Not argument, but you know what I'm trying to say. Go ahead.
Wisdom of Solomon.
Wisdom of Solomon 10, and you can start at 2. But go ahead and keep reading Quahal.
The book of Judges, chapter 1 and verse 2.
Go
back to 20.
2 and 21.
Sir. The book of Judges, chapter 2 and verse 21.
Uh-huh.
I also will not henceforth drive out any from before them of the nations which Joshua left when he died.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 22, that through them I may prove Israel.
Right, because remember he left. Remember he didn't drive everybody out.
Right.
And the Lord is the ones that are there. The Lord is not driving them out. Keep going.
Whether they will keep the way of the Lord to walk therein,
mm-hmm.
as their fathers did keep it, or
mm-hmm.
not.
Mm-hmm. But they keep it or not. Go ahead.
Verse 23. Therefore, the Lord left those nations without driving them out hastily.
Mm-hmm.
Neither delivered he them into the hand of Joshua.
Mm-hmm. Just like today. The nations are around us, but the Lord then deliver them in our hands. You get my point? Right. Same thing, same dynamic. Keep going.
The book of Judges, chapter 3 and verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
Now, these are the nations which the Lord left to prove Israel by. Prove Israel by them, even as many of Israel as had not known all the wars of Canaan.
Mm-hmm.
Only that the generations of the children of Israel might know, to teach them war, at the least such as before knew nothing thereof.
Right, because now, okay, they don't have to know. They didn't have to learn war because the Lord left them there to prove them whether they was going to keep the commandments or not. Otherwise, they would have just drove them out, and they would have been in the land by themselves, right. And then they would have learned to keep the commandments that way. They could have learned to keep it that way. But now that the Lord now that they're actually there, that's the way that the Lord has to learn. I mean, not learn, but that's the way the Lord is going to prove us whether or not we're going to keep it, by having them there. Right. Do you understand you understand that?
Yeah, I understand that. The only part is I think that the way the verse is, I don't think that, I could be wrong, but this is not actually saying, is this saying that we need to teach them more?
Okay, read it one more time.
Only that the generations of the children of Israel might know, to teach them war.
Right, because, okay. If they've kept the commandments,
right,
they would have to learn war. They were way over his head. They don't know what the hell. Go ahead. Kwayazwan, I see you raising your hand. But I'm gonna break it down for you.
I thought I had it, but maybe I don't.
Go ahead. I mean, because look, okay. To teach them war, right? Because if they kept the laws of God, then they would have to know war because they would have to go to war to drive them out. You get my point? But since they don't know war because they're there, because they get improved by Israel, because they don't have to know war because that's how the Lord has proven them, because they haven't kept the commandments and to a standard to where the Lord felt like it was time to drive them out. Go ahead.
So I think I get exactly what you're saying, because we're not even following the commandments.
Right.
We're not even in the capacity, or we're not even in a mindset to go to war, because we're in a captivity to where we can't even go to war because we're not keeping the commandments, and the nations that are around us are ruling over us. Is that kind of it too?
No, but take away the capacity for war, meaning the Lord is proving us, right? Okay, take it off then, and let's look at it now, right? The Lord is proving us by the nations that are around us, right? Whether we can keep Christmas, whether we're gonna follow, Thanksgiving, Easter, all these different holidays, right? Are we going to eat pork? Are we going to do the things that the other nations do that are around us, right? Now, when we're doing those things, there's no need to drive the nations out because they're there to still prove us, however long it takes, right? But then when we do start keeping the laws, what's going to happen? Yes, because then we're going to start kicking them out of our ghettos or whatever. Right. We would start kicking them out and saying, you can't be here anymore. We would start the process of repairing ourselves. But at this point, when we're not, then of course, brothers come into the truth, but as a whole nation, we still fail every day, every single day. We still fail. So this nation at this time, they wouldn't have known any war. They didn't have to go through any wars because the Lord left them there to prove Israel, and they're there because the Lord is trying to prove them.
So that makes perfect sense. So the question that was asked, I'm going to have to break it down to them because they misunderstood what the text was actually saying.
So they were saying what, you had to teach them war, or they teach them how to go to war?
They thought that the question was, what should we teach the generations about war today?
We do teach them. We do teach our children war, but it's remember, the weapons of our warfare is not carnal. Right. So we're learning war every day when we come in here. We're teaching the children war every day. You know what the war is? Don't celebrate Christmas. Right. Don't eat pork. That's a war. You know what I mean? Like my mom's bought some Salisbury steaks, and I was like, Mom, this got pork in it. She's like, ow, because it's a war. It's a war not to eat that pork. You gotta read. Now you gotta read everything you buy. Like, okay, Scott, this and it. That's war every single day. That's what we're fighting. You know what I mean? We're teaching our children war now. You know what I mean? But it was a time when we all ate pork, and we all just did what we wanted to do and fed our lusts because we didn't know. Hold on. Who is calling me? Oh, Salah. Shalom, Lord Christ. Shalom, Lord Christ. What's going on? Yeah, I see you. I see it. Yeah, I'm teaching right now. What's going on? What you want me to hit you right back? Because I know y'all 3 hours behind. So, all right, no sweat, man. We got UPK Thawawan, man. Yeah, Most High in Christ. All right, so yeah, after class, I'll hit you right back. All right, Lord Christ. He nice with that camera too. But yeah. So do you understand? Because
no, I understand. You broke it down.
Okay.
You broke it down perfectly. They just misunderstood what the text was saying, and I thought, and I didn't think that it was saying that, but they thought that it was saying that we should teach, even though we should be teaching war the way you said. They thought the text was saying that we should be teaching war, and they wanted to know what that actually meant by that. But it's saying something different. So even though I didn't answer the question for them, as far as what should we be taught, I can also let them know that the text is actually saying something different concerning war and what it's actually saying.
Right. That's why the weapons of our warfare is not carnal, because think of it on a more spiritual level, right? Our warfare is not, we're not going to beat the oppressor with bullets and guns. You can't do it. I don't care how many guns you buy at the gun store. That's not going to work. He manufactures the bullets. He manufactures the pieces to make guns. I did some work as an electrician. I did some work in a place that manufactured gun parts. We ain't got no we don't have any manufacturing places to make that little piece that makes you be able to hold on to the gun like this. You know what I mean? We don't manufacture the parts that make you be able to hold it like this and click something down like that and pull the trigger back like that. We don't manufacture none of that. How you gonna go against the oppressor and all he has to do is say, all right, no sweat. Then we'll just stop all manufacturing of anything, any bullets. So then all you would have is what you had left. He can still keep making them. We would just be like, okay, and he'll just starve you out until you use all of them. And you know what I mean? That's the way they've always done it in history. When you look at the siege of Jerusalem, what they do? Build a wall and starve everybody out. What do they do in the border? Put up a wall and starve everybody out. That's all they do. That's how they win wars. That's how it's always been. They don't try anything new. They just try what's already been done. So the Lord is trying to, what Paul was trying to teach us when he said that was that our warfare is not going out on Mother's Day to buy them stinking cards. Right. You know what I mean? Let's start there. If we do that, you know what'll happen? The card in the Hallmark card industry would lose billions of dollars making cards. We don't go out on Christmas, they will lose. Forget about Christmas, Black Friday. If we didn't go out on Black Friday, the businesses wouldn't get back in the red. Well, is it the black, right? Yeah, they wouldn't get back in the black, and then they would fall. And then this place would fall, because what happens when this place falls? Go ahead and finish what I'm thinking. What happens when America does bad? Go ahead.
Their ending is Armageddon.
That's you're right. But what happens when America does bad?
What happens when America does bad?
Yeah.
We do good.
There you go. That you were right here. That's what happened. What happened during COVID? How much was it a flight to Puerto Rico?
Right.
$30. Officer Knock went on a world tour during COVID.
Yeah, he did.
He was paying $30 to get to California. You know what I mean? He was going and popping up in everybody's camp. You know what I mean? Because when America hurts, we're better. Right. But when America's popping, we lose. That's how it's all set up to work. All right? All right. So go ahead. All right. So no sweat. We'll move on, right? So hopefully that'll help you out. But definitely when you read Judges and you start at chapter 1. And then go through the wars. You know what I mean? Those wars when we got into the promised land. You know what I mean? When we got in there, look at the wars that happened. And then when he died, you know what I mean? Look, the nations that were there were to prove us anyway. But the Lord, when we went there, we were there to drive certain nations out, to drive them out. But when we started sinning, we kept sinning. The Lord left those nations there so that we didn't kick them out, so that he would leave something there to prove us, to see whether or not we was going to be with him or not. And we failed. When we look at, like, I try to bring stuff up into modern day too. Like, you look at, like, in the 60s, right? You had the Israelites were on the corner. What did everybody do? They said, to hell with the Israelites. We're going to go, follow Martin Luther King. And what happened? Everybody failed. And who won? The Israelites, the brothers who was on the corner that was just like how they say Mortal Kombat or what's they call this? Power Rangers or whatever. They're the ones that won. They actually really won. But guess what? We can't go nowhere. We only get as high as the nation. That's really what it is. So, it's as high as we get. I mean, as high as the nation get is really only high as we get. That's why, even though we might be pushing the truth and we might get on, a different podcast here and there, we still ain't got nowhere. Because if you was to walk outside and you would ask somebody, hey, have you heard about the conscious community? They would be like, what are you talking about? It seemed big to us, don't it? It seemed like, oh, everybody knows about the conscious community. No, everybody don't know about the conscious community. That's in the world that we're in. Everything outside of this world that we in is bigger. You know what I mean? And this world that we're in is actually not as big as we think it is, which means there's a lot of work that you got to do, because you figure, how long has it been since we've been under the Greeks and the Persians, right? The Greeks and the Persians and the Romans, that was what? About 1,000 years, right? Maybe more than 1,000, but let's roughly say about 1,000, right? More. I'm talking about up until now. So that's what, like 2,000, right? Damn. Well, yeah, because Christ, what, 2,000 years, the Roman Empire, the Greek Empire, all of that, right? We've been in captivity here in America for what? Roughly about 400 or 500. So, and then the school started in what, 69, right? So that's what, 55 years. We've been back to the truth. But it started with 7 people. And then out of that 7, it grew to a couple of more people, but those people left. And most of all those people left the truth. So then it has to get rebuilt again. In what, like the 80s, right? And then now, here we are in 2024 at the 55th annual Passover. So you figure, yeah, a lot of us know we're Israelites, but what? Are we all in the truth? No. It's not it, because some people say what? Is you can rape. No, I'm sorry, we on social media. Grape. You can't grape. That's crazy as hell, right? And so that shows you that it's a lot of work that we got to do. We thought that it was about to be over when Kanye said it, right? Kanye, whoa, man. Didn't we think it was going to go down? When Kyrie said what? Read this book. Yeah, read the book. Read Hebrews and Negroes. What is Kyrie doing now? Shoot the game. Shoot it. Don't give a damn about that no more. Right? So just when you think that it's getting somewhere, it ain't. That's why it's always a burden on us, and it's an uphill battle to keep fighting. And that brings me into my topic, which is endurance, man. How to endure, because, when you think that you got all these wins, that don't mean nothing, man. You only as good as the last thing that you produce, man. That's why, you could put out a major skit, right? The skit could be amazing. It go viral. Everybody love it. But after so long, it's going to die down, and everybody's going to be wanting to know what you got next. That's why I don't like to harbor too much on the wins that we have, but more so on the endurance that it takes to get those wins, right? Because what? And it all comes with learning. And what comes with learning? Knowledge, wisdom, what else? Understanding, knowledge, wisdom, understanding, great. But it comes with a process. And the process is what just makes people just back out. Because it's a long process. The process ain't like where you could just, go out, they put some some hurdles in your way. Look, man, when you you get your CDL, right? I'll use that as an example. You get your CDL, you got to put work in. You got to get out there with that big truck, and you got to learn how to drive it in traffic, around people, and not killing nobody. So you got a lot of pressure. But then after that, after you learn it, you learn a little something, not a lot, but you learn a little bit, enough to go take a test. Now you got a white man in the truck with you. And now you got to drive with him in the car, in the truck. And then after you get done with that, you got to go and sign up for a company. And then that company is going to put you through training again. You got to take another road test with the company that you're going to work for. Then once you take the road test and do all your backing maneuvers and do all the stuff that they want you to do, your alley line, alley docking and all that, your offset, reverse tracking and all that, then you got to go out on the road with somebody who might have a funky truck with corn feet, smell like corn chips. You got to go out with them on the road for 240 hours. After that 240 hours, which is about 4 to 5 weeks, you got to come back and you got to test out, right? Now they got to check you again. I'm saying all this to say that with anything that you learn, there's always going to be a process. And with the truth, it's the same way. The process is coming to school, coming to camp. You know what I'm saying? Doing the same things that you did when you wanted to get your Hebrew name, right? This was I was going to post. I was looking at all of y'all super pictures today. I looked at everybody's super picture. I was going to post that because then when you post things like that, it's like, remember what you thought when you was in the all black, how you had all this, all this amazing zeal that you was here and you was bringing liquor. Yeah, that was good. You was bringing liquor to class and everything. We were drinking great. And then it slowly goes reverse back. You get my point? And that's what it takes with the truth. It takes revitalization at certain points so you remember why you came. Go ahead.
Salakia. And I could be wrong, but I think a lot of the reasons why, brothers, with anything, have a situation where they see the process and it kind of deters their, motivation is because maybe they're so used to seeing things happen overnight in like movies and media, because you can see 1,000 movies where somebody is just an overnight success, whether it's a hero or whether it's, somebody becoming rich, or they see, like a sexy red, or they see it like a Ice Spice and they're like, well, I just saw they made something good or they made something catchy. And the next thing you know, they're on a tour and they're making millions. They got changed, but not realizing that there was a process, or there is somebody with a process that's behind them to actually push an agenda.
Yeah, like Sexy Red works hard. Ice Spice, I don't give a damn how wacky you say they are. Lil Uzi Vert work hard. He's not your typical rapper who just raps a couple bars and then he, goes to the little studio or whatever, and that's that. No, he's in the studio every day. Right. His life is around rap music. You know what I mean? And I think that we tend to think that, in the truth, it's going to be something different. It's a process that comes with the learning, but in that process, there is going to be the hard work, right? As I wore in the skit, as I wore scrubbing the toilet, right, in the skit. That's part of the truth. You know what I mean? Because I think that people think that it's all about being a scripture champion. Hey, look, I'm going to defeat all my enemies with Proverbs and Isaiah, and I'm going to think about it fast, and it's going to demolish everybody. You know what's going to happen? You're going to get cut by a goddamn Christian. They're going to cut you because you think that you think Captain Tazariak can just do that without work? without studying and constantly doing it. You know how many times he talked about the Immaculate Conception? 1,000 times. Well, probably more. But you get my point. This stuff comes with repetition. Just like when you go to the gym and you're working out. Once you get muscles, I thought that once you get muscles, you can just go home. Like, look at this. You see that? All right, now I don't gotta lift no more weights. I'm gonna go home. Guess what you're gonna look like? You're gonna be on my 600-pound life. If you ain't working out consistently, that's what it takes with anything. Work, process. You know what I mean? Get stronger. That's the whole thing that comes in with the truth. And that's what we all gotta realize when you come into the truth is to have endurance, right? Let me pull the scripture, right? Salakia, had everything here. Oh no. Not that one. Here we go. Let me get 1 Peter 1:13. No sweat.
It's the book of 1 Peter, chapter 1 and verse 13.
Mm-hmm.
Wherefore, gird up the loins of your mind.
Mm-hmm.
Be sober and hope to the end for the grace that is to be brought unto you at the revelation of Jesus Christ.
Right. And keep reading just a little bit more.
As obedient children, not fastening yourselves according to the former lust and your ignorance, but as he which hath called you is holy, so be ye holy.
Oh, I'm sorry. 14. One more time. Salakia, you went too far. Salakia.
This is the book of 1 Peter chapter 1 and verse 14.
Mm-hmm.
As obedient children, not fastening yourselves according to the former lust and your ignorance.
Meaning what? You gotta be strong to endure.
Right.
Right? And you gotta endure until Christ comes. Not when you think Christ is gonna come. You know what I'm saying? Because, cats be like, okay, once Donald Trump gets in office, we probably gonna have a lot more people coming to the truth. Right. Because they probably gonna be like, okay, the conspiracy theorists said that he's never gonna leave. And guess what? You probably have a lot of people that's gonna come into the truth, right? If Donald Trump, even though he got convicted, it becomes the president, right? But then what happens when, his term ends and and then now, it's somebody else gets in office. People will probably lead the truth.
Right.
Because, how many people sat in this brotherhood class and left the truth? How many sisters sat in this brotherhood class and sisterhood class and said, I'm down with ISUPK? And they gone, man. Because I remember brothers sat in here and said, man, I ain't never going to leave, man. And they left. So, you know how I look at it now. You know what I mean? I'm cool. It is what it is at this point. You know what I'm saying? While you're here, we'll enjoy the help that we can get with the, packing the signs up and different things like that. And, maybe you clean the bathroom a couple times and, straighten up the books, vacuum or something like that. But anything else after that, I'm not really, holding you to it.
Right.
You get my point? Like, because I understand that people endure just for a time. And they're just not willing to go all the way, when times get rough. I mean, if everything was going to be good and the truth every single day, no shit. You will be here every day. But you might get an order you don't like. You might get told to do something that you might not like.
Right.
Right? But that's the times when you got to understand that this truth is bigger than you or me or anybody who could come into it. right? This is about serving people. And that's what the whole truth is about. It's about serving. If you're not, why did Christ wash the disciples' feet?
Right.
He washed their feet to show them that the greatest master is the greatest servant.
Right.
So you could go up in rank and all that kind of stuff, but that just means you're going to serve more.
Right.
What? Time. Away from who? Your ribs.
Right.
Your ribs. That's who you're going to get served more time from. And who's going to get mad? Your rib.
Right. Well, to me, Red.
How won't she be as mad if she's here too?
Right.
But she's not. So, I'm not saying everybody's like that, but you kind of get my point. She wants you to go home.
Right.
But you think, okay, what? What was that? Oh, that was your phone. Yeah. So when you move up in rank, it's gonna be less time away from. It's gonna be more time away from your family, and more time in the truth. More, food giveaways, more counseling, more talking to people, more of giving of yourself, rather than taking that time to just, be by yourself or just be with your rib and just be there to be able to console her. Not console her, I don't want to say that, but just being there to just, to just be at home and be around the crib. You're going to have less of that the more you move up. All right? All right, no sweat. Let's get it. Okay. Matthew 10:35.
Wakan.
Hold on. Matter of fact, let me go to Luke 14:26. And then we'll pull that one.
So Luke 14.
Yeah.
26.
Yep.
All right, Wakan.
No sweat.
This is the book of Luke, chapter 14 and verse 26.
Uh-huh.
No, 14. If any man come to me and hate not his father and mother and wife and children and brethren and sisters, yea, and his own life also, he cannot be my disciple.
Part of endurance, man, and being able to endure through the truth is being able to go against your family.
Right.
You can't. You could. Some people couldn't get their family down here if your life depended on it. If they said, you know what, we're going to kill you if your mom doesn't come down here. Your mom say, I love you, baby, but I can't go to that school because they hate white folk. And you're going to be dead because you're not willing to serve the Lord. That because people come into the truth, but you know what happens? Their family shame them. You know how they shame them? You're going to listen to another man. You're going to take a order from another man, and yet you go to work every day and take orders. From who? Men, because it ain't no aliens telling you to sweep the floor. It's not an alien that's telling you to go fix that goddamn safe. It's a man, more than likely. You get my point? That's what I'm saying, which makes it so crazy.
Right.
Black people know you ain't supposed to be celebrating Christmas. We already know it. But you do it anyway. Why? Because you feel compelled to do it. Why? Because you learned it in America, and that's the whole thing. And that's why if you're not willing to go against that, what it say? If you don't what? Your father?
It says like it. Verse 26. If any man come to me and hate not his father.
Break that part down. Hates your father.
Meaning you can't separate from your father and everything that you learned from him.
There you go. That latter part is what I wanted.
Right.
You're absolutely right. That's what you gotta hate from your father. Everything that he taught you.
Right.
that wasn't according to the Lord.
Right.
Right? Getting you up to this point. What did our parents teach us? They taught you how to survive, right? They taught us how to, go out and not talk to strangers, and well, that ain't really work, but
Right.
but for the most part, your parents taught you how, how to get along in the world, right?
Right.
Keep your head down. Definitely don't join no camps.
Right.
Go to school, get a job, go to work, and that's what they knew, right? So they taught us how to survive. Your mom taught you how to survive in the world, but she didn't teach you how and what you needed to survive, in the truth.
Right.
Right? And those are the things that makes the most, determinant on how you're going to keep up your endurance. Is like, you got to go against what your parents taught you, with your brothers, your sisters, everybody. And coming into the truth, you might have a best friend and you might think that he's going to come into the truth because you in the truth and he rock with you like that.
Right.
Right? No. You know when he rocks with you? When you get your income tax check.
Right.
And you drink it off the top shelf.
Right.
But when the general's coming in town and you tell him, hey, we got the general coming down here, you should come to class. He ain't coming.
Right.
Your mom ain't coming. Your dad ain't coming. You know what I mean? The people that you love the most in life, they're not coming. Right. You know how I know? Because when I put out posts every day on my Facebook, nobody answers. I put something stupid up there, everybody, or it could be something that's worldly. Like when I graduated, I got 256 likes on the post.
Right.
People that I wasn't even friends with was like, oh, congratulations. But what happened when we went to camp?
Right.
And we was telling you to get off of drugs and keep the commandments and come back and follow the Lord. And we was giving food away to the migrants. I only got, the likes from people that I'm closely associated with.
Right.
Where was all the likes at then? We put a skit out. We got more. I got more likes. We got more views than more friends that I had. You know what I mean? Because people only like stuff that's worldly.
Right.
You know what I mean? But when it comes, and this is the most craziest thing, when a woman says, I want a man that's God-fearing. I want a God-fearing man that knows how to treat his mom, and he just fears the Lord, until you run into a man like that, right? Because the minute you run into him and he says, you know what, we can't eat pork. We can't celebrate Christmas. You can't celebrate your birthday. Right? She's going to be like, I can't do this. I feel oppressed.
Right.
I'm not happy. Go ahead.
You don't want a God-fearing man. You want Pastor P. Diddy. You want Pastor T.D. Jakes, the one who tells you that in order for God to love you, in order for you to show that God loves you, you got to have a job. You got to have a job. If you want to be with me, and that all. You got to have a house. You got to have all these things, and you got to put that woman first.
Yes.
So she feels as though a God-fearing man is one who really fears a woman.
We look at bad. You're absolutely right. We look at bad times as what? Satan doing it, right?
Right.
But sometimes the Lord will whip your ass.
Right.
So I get from my language. I'm not supposed to be saying that. But it just fits right at this point that I'm saying it. We think that your life is bad because Satan is on you. No, the Lord is on you. That's why nothing ever works. Right? That's why I tell people, man, serve the Lord while you got your good health and everything is going good in your life.
Right.
Don't serve the Lord when you got a gun to the back of your head and, when a doctor tell you some news that you don't want to hear, then you want to be all about the Lord. Follow the Lord in whatever you're going through and understand that the Lord will bring you through. All right? All right, let's get some more. I don't want to harbor too much on it. But hold on, let me see. Who we got in here? We got Chelsea. Chelsea Ford checking in from Eastern Carolina. Damn. All right, East Carolina. Terry. Damn. Okay. Checking in from Ohio. Shemaya Ba. That's a sis coming in from Shreveport. Daughter of a king. Okay, checking in from Georgia. Wayne from ISBK Delaware. That's right. Dover, Delaware. Nazam. Shalom to you. Just starting paint. Shalom to you. UPK Kwadash Yahala. Shalom to you. The Lisa. All right. Dandridge. That sounds like a singer. Shout out to you. Kana. Shout out to you. You know what I mean? Sharika. UPK, shout out to you. UPK Connecticut. Barack Manal, always in the building. UPK Connecticut. Chapala. All right, Chapala. I'm going to get my gourmet early this year for next year. Adolphus, shout out to you. Shout out to everybody, man. You know what I'm saying? I really appreciate y'all. But you know what else will help me appreciate you even more? If you subscribe to ISBK Delaware and say that you subscribed in the chat. And look, I'll give you another shout out. All right. Swole. Big Swole. Swole Gear. All right. In the chat, coming in from Minnesota. And shalom to everybody, man. It's not about lording it over brothers. It's not about lording it over brothers like the Gentiles do. Right. So shout out to everybody, man. If you want another shout out, man, post in the chat, man, that you subscribe to ISBK Delaware. Right. Post in the chat that you went on there and you seen our latest skit and you subscribe to the channel. But you know what's going to happen? What y'all going to do? Nothing. All right. But prove me wrong. All right. So, all right, let's get it. All right, a few more, y'all. All right. All right, let me see. What was that other one? Okay, so yeah, that was go ahead. Yeah, that's fine. Yep, we'll go there. Okay. Let's go to 1 Peter 4:12. We was already in Peter, right? 1 Peter. Let's go to 4:12. And then we're gonna go to Ecclesiasticus and the Apocrypha 2:1. And then I just got a few more after that, and then we're gonna be out of here. All right.
All right, come on. This is the book of 1 Peter, chapter 4, and verse 12.
Where the hell is Zara Bakar at? God damn.
This book.
Okay.
This book of 1 Peter, chapter 4, and verse 12. Mm-hmm. Beloved, think it not strange concerning the fiery trial which is to try you, as though some strange thing happened unto you.
Right. The fiery trial is going to come. Right. It's going to happen. Right? Bro, you want to say something? Which the light bulb went on?
Yeah, definitely.
Khan Adawan Khan, sir. I can find the scripture, but it reminds me of the scripture that says there's no temptation that is not common to man, as a like a summary, but that's just another precept to it that because I was talking to one of my younger sibling, and she said that things are hard, this, that, and the fourth, and she can't deal. But I was trying to tell her, like, everything you're going through, it's not something that's uncommon, this, that, and the fourth, and it's just another precept.
Well, let's put it like how the truth is, man. When you come into the truth, man, you think you got over hoes? No sweat. Hoes is coming. They coming, right? You over hoes, right? Yeah, you over hoes, right? You come into the truth. I'm delivered, right? Guess what's coming? Hoes, and we're gonna see. The Lord's gonna see if you can stand up. right? All right, I'm done with weed. I ain't got nothing to do with that no more. All right, no sweat. That's what's all gonna be around you, one way or the other. Whether you go to a bar, whether you go to a club, whether you go to a lounge, whether you with a broad and you take it to a lounge or whatever it is, and you around a hookah or whatever it is, you know what I'm saying? The Lord gonna test you to see if that's what you about. You got a problem with prostitution before you came in the truth, getting hoes and paying for sex. The Lord's gonna see if you are about what you talking about. And he gonna see if you made a pact with Satan. Right. That's the fiery. It's going to go down, and you better be willing to fight it, because guess what happens when you fighting it? It hurts. Right. It hurts. It hurts to resist temptation. You don't. A person probably don't think of it like that. They think of it like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be tempted by the devil. Right? Until you in a party, right? And some random sister comes up and says, hey, we want to have a threesome. Now you like, I hear what we talked about in class, but this is now. This is here right now. Nobody's here, just me. Right? It was the night that the brothers couldn't be there. And you gotta have what it takes to be able to make the right decision. Right. And have what? The presence of mind to make the right decision. But usually what happens? You're not. You're gonna do something stupid. Right? So the fiery trial is there to prove you. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I thought where you had something.
No. I was just. I've had experiences just like that. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like you said, when you come out of the world and you come into this truth and you face your demons, them things come in places that you wouldn't expect it.
Because what I mean? Satan didn't have to do that to you. Right. Because he already had you. Right. But now what happens? Now you talking about you serve the Lord. Right. And you keep the commandments and you telling everybody else to do it. What does that represent? That represents the right side turning up of black people. Right. Can Satan have that? No. And you know what his job is to do? Is to prove to the Lord that you're nothing but a fast-talking, good-for-nothing, empty word weasel. And that's what happens. Right. It don't stop. Right. The higher you go up, the more the temptation comes. Right. That's how it go. And that's why the pastors is doing what they're doing, because they got the power. They got raised up in their congregations. Now they're over everybody. Nobody's there to look at you. Nobody's there to see what you do. So that's why he's there talking to your wife. Why? Because he's in charge of counsel. And what happens when a woman is vulnerable? He'd be like, well, sister, you can come to me anytime you want. Because what does she look like? She look at you like, what? You got it all together. You wife ain't tripping. She ain't going to counsel like we are. So it must mean that you got everything in check. She ain't tripping on nothing. How can I get my husband to have that? And you know what he's going to say? A hotel room with me. A night with me will get you right. To go home and be able to take care of your husband and treat him right. But it's all BS, because it's just a thing that, pastors do. Y'all remember that movie BMF? I mean, that show BMF. Y'all ever seen that? Y'all ever see that?
Nah, not really. I've seen maybe a couple clips.
You seen it, Kwayash One?
I haven't started it yet.
Okay, well, it's a scene in there where in the show on Stars, BMF. Snoop is the reverend. He's the pastor in the show. Big Meech's mom was having problems with her marriage, so she went to Snoop and said, "Hey, can you give me, can I get a marriage counsel?" He was like, "Okay, no sweat." Boom, they go to dinner. It's a scene where they're at dinner, and she's talking about her marriage with Big Meech's dad, Charles, and how it's on the rocks. And at the end of the counsel, he puts his hand. She says, "Man, I just need some consoling. I just need somebody to be there for me." And he puts his hand underneath of the table on her leg, right? And she says, No, Pastor, not that kind of. I don't need that kind of help with my marriage. And he said he pulled away like that. And then when he pulled away, the waiter came and was like, "Here's the check." And he said, "Will you be paying for your part of the meal?" And he made her pay for her part of the meal because he was like, he made his advance. She didn't take it. All right, well, you got to pay for your own meal. You're part of the dinner. You know what I mean? And that's what she did. And that's what happened. But you got to see how art imitates life. You know what I mean? That in there because that's how pastors are.
That's exactly how it is.
All right? Enduring. That's what we're talking about, right? Where we at? 1 Peter what?
4:12.
Let's get it. One more time.
Beloved, think it not strange concerning the fiery trial, which is to try you, as though some strange thing happened unto you.
Mm-hmm.
But rejoice inasmuch as ye are partakers of Christ's sufferings, that when his glory shall be revealed, ye may be glad also with exceeding joy. If ye be reproached, hold on.
The one in Matthew? No, the one in, okay, for, the fiery trial to try you, right? Let me pull the precept just real quick for everybody that's watching. The precept is 1 Corinthians 3:13.
This is the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 3 and verse 13. Every man's work shall be made manifest, for the day shall declare it, because it shall be revealed by fire.
See that? Read it one more time.
Every man's work shall be made manifest.
Right. The things that you do is going to be, you know what I mean? It's going to be brought out, man. The things that you do is going to show, right? Keep going.
For the day shall declare it.
Right. When you try.
Because it shall be revealed by fire.
Right. You know why the generals is able to teach us and teach us and give us good advice on how to deal with the truth is because they go through the fire.
Kind.
Right? We're there. You know, we're sometimes we're around those situations. And the reason that they're able to teach you is by hurt, fire. And that's how we're able to teach younger brothers that come into the truth by hurt and fire. And the only way that you're going to be able to withstand that hurt and that fire that you go through is by being around your brothers and being around your sisters, man, and getting counsel and enduring, you know what I mean, through the hard times. You think that just because you're in the truth, your bread is always going to flow? Hey, you come into the tube and you get a lottery ticket. You definitely should win, right?
Right.
Because you in the truth.
No.
You're not going to win, right? But the point I'm trying to make here is that, you know, the fiery trial is what's going to get you ready to be able to endure and be able to be at a level where you can endure temptation and you can be able to build just your house up stronger, and you'll be able to teach other brothers how to build up their house stronger. Right. All right. Oh yeah, you ready to do security tonight? He came in with flip flops. Oh, he about to do some kung fu on niggas. All right, no sweat. Nah, I'm just messing with you, man. We good. I just mess with you. Yeah. No sweat. All right, no sweat. Let's go back to.
You want to finish it out?
Nah, I'm best with Zariah, man. Zariah, he ain't paying me no mind, man. He ain't paying me no mind.
He ain't gonna sit behind the biggest nigga in the class.
Sprite, paying me no mind, man. All right, the fiery trial, man. Ecclesiasticus and the Apocrypha 2:1. Yeah, you got it.
the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 2, verse 1.
That's right.
My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation.
Keep going.
Set thy heart aright
Mm-hmm.
and constantly endure.
Mm-hmm. Say that one more time. The constantly what?
And constantly endure.
And constantly what?
And constantly endure.
Uh-huh.
And make not haste in time of trouble.
Uh-huh.
Cleave unto him and depart not away,
Mm-hmm.
that thou mayest be increased at thy last end.
Right.
Keep on.
Because of what? Because okay. There's going to be a time when you're going to be increased, right? But in order to be able to get that, you have to be able to endure, right? Your day is going to come. It's going to come. It's going to be a day when you can't be held back anymore. You know what I mean? That day is going to come. The first time around when I share a story. The first time around, okay, they called us and they said it was on Facebook. They said, Officer Tazaiwan, you have now been raised up to a captain of 10,000. Right? They called a bunch of names. It was me, Captain Ariel, all of us. Right? I went out to the club and got drunk, happy, bro. I was like, yeah. Finally, I'm here. I got a call in the morning by General Mayaki. He was like, I don't know what happened, but all of it that you heard is that's not. So we love you, but you didn't get raised up. You didn't get raised up, right? All right, no sweat. I was in the club like, yeah. You know what I mean? Doing the WAP and everything. The next day, they called everybody and said, nah, that wrong list got out. That wasn't supposed to be the list. Right? So I was like, all right, cool. No sweat. You know what I mean? I think it was like another year and a half, maybe 2 years passed, right? And they did they did another rank raises. They did them again. And at that time, everybody who was on the list the first time got through that time. But I didn't get through that time. And I started wondering, I started thinking to myself, okay, what could it have been? Right? But then I realized, looking back at it, was that what I thought I was ready for, I wasn't ready for. And I realized that the other people that went at that particular time was more ready than I was at that time. You get my point? I might have thought in my mind that I was ready, but it took me time to really understand it later. You know what I mean? So you will be increased in the truth. And when you will be increased, it'll be a time when no longer can anything hold you back. You get my point? Because because you're working towards something. As long as you work towards something and you keep working, then nothing will be able to hold you back in the truth. You'll keep going up, as far as you want. You know what I mean? And so read it one more time, if you could. No, that last verse when it said they increased.
Verse 3.
Mm-hmm.
Cleave unto him and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end.
Right. Also, twofold, because, in the last days, we're going to be increased. But you're going to be increased, but the only way you're going to be increased if you can endure. And that's what's going to, and when you endure, there's no way that you won't be increased. You get my point? The Lord will make it known and will increase you. Remember that. You know what I'm saying? And that's how it is with anything in the truth. Long as you endure, you will be increased. Period. Whether you might not feel okay, well, I didn't make it that time or where I'm trying to get, the Lord will increase you. People get increased in the truth because the Lord increased you. That's it. That's how it works. It works no other way. You know what I mean? And you'll see. because more other brothers will see it, and then you'll be increased. That's how it works, right? And I just wanted to share that with y'all just to let you know that I go through the same thing too. All right? All right, no sweat. Let's it was a great night though. That was a night. But it said, yeah, that you might be increased, right? Let me get Matthew 12 and 43. All right, I got a few more, y'all. I'm racing against time. By the way, we got Officer Cahal in the house. He was the one that produced the skit. You know what I mean? He produced it. Sometimes you know you got to do your Quentin Tarantino. You know what I'm saying? You wasn't even in it, was you?
My arm was in it.
Right.
A couple times.
That's how it go. You know.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 12, and verse 43. When the unclean spirit is gone out of a man, he walketh through dry places, seeking rest.
Tell me what you got again.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 12, and verse 43.
Go ahead and read it.
When the unclean spirit is gone out of a man, he walketh through dry places, seeking rest.
Go ahead and break it down.
When the unclean spirit is gone out of a man. Okay. So it's like when you give up the things of this world,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying? Like whether it be smoking weed, like you said, hoes, whatever have you, you know, it leaves you. You know what I mean? But it's like it's still around you.
Right, but nothing leaves you for good.
Right.
Doesn't.
Right.
It leaves for a season. For a season. It comes back. It always comes back. You think we're going to be in the kingdom of heaven and you're not going to get tempted in the kingdom of heaven?
Right.
When you got all that power and all that authority, you think that you know other nations ain't going to be there too?
Right.
They're going to be there, and you're going to go through the same thing, but this time you're going to get killed for it, straight up. You know what I mean? You know, but that's the point that I'm trying to make here is that, you know, when you first come into the truth, that's the first thing is to sweep your house clean. But those things that you sweep clean are always going to come back.
Right.
They're going to come back, but you got to be in a position where you can deal with it and be able to fight it and reject it. You want to say something? Koyaswan?
I think you broke it down.
It was something that you was, you know.
You was about to get to it anyway. I'm rushing it.
Yeah, because like when you come, okay, remember all of us in here, we don't smoke weed.
Right.
Right? 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 No sweat. We don't smoke weed. All right. But right? All right. But those things are going to come. Those things are going to maybe not rear its ugly head all the time, but it's going to be times where you're going to be around it, or you know, if you're going out to a club or you're going to certain places, or you know, not even just that. You might just be talking to a group of dudes on the street who's smoking right there, and you like, hey man, y'all should come to class or whatever. But they're there. It's around you, and you got to be, you know, able to fight those urges that you might have. Like it might not have been the thing that maybe you might not have had the most problem with. It might not be weed. It might be coke. Might not be that. It might be e-pills. You know what I'm saying? It might be a different thing that you have an issue with. Your issue might not be prostitution, but your issue might just be big booty hoes. You just can't, you know, and she's the hoe in the, you know, it's clear that she's a hoe. She's in there with a see-through, see-through
fishnet.
Yeah, right, fishnet. That's crazy. Fishnet's crazy. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, Salaki on the internet, since they can't say that where they be calling them 304s.
Right.
You heard of that, right?
Yeah, 304s.
Yeah, they call them the 304s. That's
You can't even say ho no more?
I don't think you can, like it. Can you get clipped for that? I don't know. I could be wrong.
That's crazy, man. They got us saying women got raped, SA'd. What the hell is going on with?
Well,
That's why I'm glad.
John said it on the show, so I guess we can still say it, though, right?
What?
Didn't say Spread said it. She said it, right?
Yeah, but that's like kind of like mainstream. I don't know, man. I think it's like a mainstream thing where they, you know what I mean? Because like you say it, we got to say SA'd.
Yeah.
Or she was abused or something like that. You know what I mean? Like a newspaper, the news clipping will come on and just say, the R word, but we say it and they get flagged because we're not fighting against actual people. We're fighting against like an algorithm, computer.
Right.
But the unclean spirit, right? So when it leaves you and it comes back, how does it come back? Go ahead.
Stronger than before.
But how does it come back stronger than before?
Through temptation.
That's true.
Yeah, I mean,
temptation is a factor of it, but what am I looking for? How does the demon that's gone, how does it come back? Go ahead.
Comes back with 7 spirits more wicked than itself.
Right, it comes back, but how does it come back with 7 demons more wicked than itself? Right. When you do it. You get my point?
Right.
When you do it. When you say you come into the truth and your thing is weed, right? And you're like, man, I don't do no weed for 6 months, right? It's swept clean. Then you smoke again.
right.
And when you smoke again, it's going to be harder for you to stop. Because that demon that you did have before is going to come back stronger, and now it's going to be harder for you to get off of weed. Same thing with women, same thing with everything. I mean, that's how it works. When you do it again, that demon, let's read some more on it.
Come on. Verse 44. Salaki, seeking rest and findeth none.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 44. Then he saith, I will return into my house from whence I came out. And when he is come, he findeth it empty, swept, and garnished.
Right, that's when you come into the truth, right? Go ahead.
Verse 45, then goeth he and taketh with himself 7 other spirits more wicked than himself.
Mm-hmm.
And they enter in and dwell there. And the last state of that man is worse than the first.
Right.
Even so shall it be also unto this wicked generation.
Right. You know why? That's why you see UPK covers hanging up in all the schools.
Right.
That's why Tazabah ain't here.
Right.
I hope he watching. That's why he's not here. You know why? Even though he ran into Matazapah and said, man, I'm going to be down there. Where he at? Where he at? He ain't here. You know why? Because it's harder to come back to the truth. Now it's even harder than it was before. It's hard coming into the truth. Before, think about how hard it was for you to get here and you to stay strong. And guess what happens when you leave? It's going to be harder for you to get back here. The traffic is going to be more traffic.
Right. The woman's going to be more demonic.
Right. Your woman's going to be more demonic. Her head going to be turning around. Green stuff going to be coming out of her mouth. Right? Everything that you thought that you wanted to do is going to be harder for you to do. The same thing with life. In it, you leave something, you leave a business, you don't endure through those hard times. People that are successful in business, you think that they're successful because they made it work the whole time with no downfalls? No, it kept working and working, but it was always harder to come back.
Right.
It was always harder to shake back. You know what I mean? And the reality of it is most people can't shake back because it's harder. When you leave and you get your cover and you leave and then you got to come back and then you got to be accepted back in and then everybody got to look at you and everybody got to get rid of all the things that they thought about you while you was gone, and all the videos that you made, and all the slander that you put on Facebook, and all of that stuff that you go through. And then when you decide to get it all right, and you got to come back, and then all of us got to, we're all going to accept you back. But guess where our eyebrows are going to be? To the ceiling.
Right.
Like, oh, he back? Yeah. Shalom. Oh, yeah. You my brother, man. We love you, man. Yeah. Not saying you ain't back. I mean, you in it too, right? You here. But, I don't know how it's going to work. We'll see how, time will tell, right? Time will definitely tell, right? Maybe you might be able to endure and change my mind, right? But, the point is that it's a harder battle now. Because when you was here, we all accepted you. We all loved you, and you was good, and nobody hated you or nobody tried to, do you wrong, and we all loved you. But then you leave, and it's like, you throw it in my face, and, I'm going to accept you back. Like if you broke in my house, the brother breaking my house, I'm not going to kill you, right? A brother that breaking your house might come into the truth.
Right.
But are you going to invite him over that easy to watch the game? You're going to be like, all right, Zawar, Koyaswan, and Zarai, I'm having a party tonight. But Kohol, he broke in my house before, so, he in the truth, but I'm just going to invite those three brothers. Right? You already seen what the crib look like.
Right. You ain't see this new TV I got.
You get my point. It's always going to be harder. So that's what you want to prevent, if you can, it from being hard. Those brothers that left the truth, you don't come into the school planning to leave, but, somehow you end up out. And you got to be real careful that doesn't happen to you. All right. All right. No sweat. Let me get 2nd Ezra 7 and 6. 2nd Ezra 7 and 6. Let me get there with you. I think this might be the last one. Started a little late. Whenever you're ready.
This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 7 and verse 6. There is also another thing. A city is builded and set upon a broad field.
2nd Ezra 7:16.
And is full of all good things. The entrance thereof is narrow and is set in a dangerous place to fall. Like as if there were a fire on the right side and on the left a deep water. And one only path between them both, even between the fire and the water, so small that there could but one man go there at once.
Right. This is how narrow it is, right? For the truth, right? Go ahead.
Verse 9. If this city now were given unto a man for an inheritance, if he never shall pass the danger set before it, how shall he receive this inheritance?
There you go, man. That's the truth, man. You think you're going to inherit it and you ain't going to go through the danger?
Right.
Right? Keep reading. Let's get it. A little bit more.
Verse 10. And I said, it is so, Lord. Then said he unto me, even so also is Israel's portion. Because for their sakes I made the world.
Right, because we all got what? The ability to receive the kingdom of heaven. Right? Keep going.
And when Adam transgressed my statutes, then was decreed that now is done.
That was the you know, we had the law of sacrifice, and we that was the breath of life of Adam. Go ahead.
Verse 12. Then were the entrances of this world made narrow,
Go ahead.
full of sorrow and travail. They are but few and evil, full of perils and very painful.
Meaning what? It got hard to endure. It got harder to endure, and that's what we come in here every week for, to keep you strong. You know what I mean? Like a gym. You know what I'm saying? Like we all know, if you go and you build your muscles up and you stop going to the gym, what's going to happen? You're going to end up on my 600-pound life. Right? That's crazy. My 600-pound life is crazy. Right? Like, how do you eat yourself to where you can't get up anymore?
Buttermilk biscuits.
That's crazy. I was like, I guess the people who are around them like are good because they can eat like crazy. Like I was like the lady I was watching My 600-Pound Life, and she had like you know, she had like 3 breakfasts. You know, like 3 breakfasts, and then the girl who was with her was eating good too. I was like, damn, okay, how do they afford all that food?
Some type of they get like disability checks and stuff like that.
Oh, they just go to food.
They just use it on food.
Yeah, but guess what? She had a man.
Yep.
Yeah. So what does that say about women that ain't obese? That means you gotta shut your mouth, right? Because how this woman is 800, 900 stone. hey, that's when it's past a certain point.
Right.
It's like you 200 stone. Right? She got a man. That means that women got to shut your mouth. That trap you got. All right? Because if this woman is, you know, that heavy, then she got a man, then she's doing something right, because all he is there to do is enable. All right. No sweat. All right. So let me just get this one, right? About endurance, right? Let me get Song of Solomon 10, right? And we're going to end it right there. No, Wisdom of Solomon. I'm sorry. Wisdom of Solomon 10.
Khan. Where you want to start at verse 1?
Yeah. Read it from 1, and then we're going to go to 9, and then we're going to end it out there.
Khan. This is the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 10 and verse 1. She preserved the first formed father of the world.
This is talking about wisdom, right? Keep going. That's the she. All right, keep going.
That was created alone and brought him out of his fail. That's like of his fall, and gave him power to rule all things. But when the unrighteous went away from her in his anger, he perished also in the fury whereof he murdered his brother.
So who is this talking about?
Cain and Abel.
Right? But what was the first one talking about?
Adam.
Right? Keep going.
Khan. For whose cause the earth being drowned with the flood, wisdom again preserved it. Did I skip? Okay. All right. And directed the course of the righteous in a piece of wood of small value.
Who is this talking about?
It's Noah.
Noah. We're talking about the troubles that Adam went through, the troubles that, you know, what Cain and Abel went through, the troubles of what Noah went through. Keep going.
Moreover, the nations in their wicked conspiracy being confounded, she found out the righteous and preserved him blameless unto God, and kept him strong against his tender compassion toward his son.
Who is this talking about?
Abraham and Isaac.
Abraham. Keep going.
When the ungodly perished, she delivered the righteous man who fled from the fire, which fell down upon the 5 cities, of whose wickedness, even to this day, the waste land that smoketh is a testimony.
Who's this talking about?
Moses.
No,
so like it's smoke.
Right, but who specifically?
Jacob. No. Slack. That's not
Lots. That's what we're talking about.
Lots.
All right. So what do y'all? What's going on here? Okay, we got two more verses, but what's going on here? Koyashman, you hear? You see what's going on? All right, we in Song of Solomon, the 10th chapter.
Wisdom of Solomon.
Wisdom of Solomon. I'm sorry.
Okay.
All right, Wisdom of Solomon.
Verse 7. Chapter 7.
The sister said, "Wait a minute, hold on. Who's that?" She said they always have a man. The woman's on 600-pound life.
Yeah,
They always have a man. Good. And he get right up in there with that rag and bump it up. Bump that thing up. Get that thing shiny.
Yo,
Go ahead.
so like, I know this is off topic, but what tripped me out is how the doctor now, he be like, and I see that you just, what, you're scared of the woman, you just let her eat whatever she wants and you get it for her because you don't want to be mad, right?
Right.
Like,
Yeah. Hey, look, me and my rib was watching it. I said this before, but me and my rib was watching it. And my rib was like, how do they keep a man? And while she was getting washed up in the bed, her leg went all the way back like this. And it was like touching the wall. And the dude was in there washing it. I was like, that's why she could keep a man. You see how that leg went all the way back to the wall like that? She's 800 stone. And that leg went all the way back. That's why she got a man right there. And if women could learn anything from this, you can learn from that. All right, go ahead. Let's keep going. Koyashwan. Okay, I'm gonna break it down for you, right? What's going on here is our forefathers, right? When they endured and they went through, right? And they followed wisdom, right? Which is what the Lord, that's what the Lord is, right? Go ahead.
It just lost focus.
Oh,
the camera's just moving, that's all. It's just following me.
okay. Okay, 1 second, y'all. Like, hurry up. All right, I'm back. I'm good. They like, damn. Back it up, so. All right, no sweat. All right, no sweat. Go ahead, Koyashwan.
I briefly read over it, like I can tell the story of all the brothers that went through some type of hardship or
Yes.
something.
And guess what? When you go through it too, if you lean on the Lord will be with you too.
Right.
Why? Because he's showing us examples of our foreparents who went through struggles and they were able to get through them by standing with the Lord. And every brother in this truth, man, you can get through whatever you're going through if you're willing to endure and fight this fight with the Lord. Right? Let's go. Let's get a little bit more on it.
Read that off.
Verse 7.
Verse 7. Of whose wickedness even to this day the wasteland that smoketh is a testimony, and plants bearing fruit that never come to ripeness.
Mm-hmm.
And a standing pillar of salt is a monument of an unbelieving soul.
Who's this talking about?
Israel.
Lot's wife.
No.
Lot's wife. Right? Keep going.
And regarding not wisdom, that got not only this hurt, that they knew not the things which were good, but also left behind them to the world a memorial of their foolishness.
Right. That's what we left. When you look up and down the street, that's the memorial of our wickedness. Right there. Of our foolishness, I mean. Well, that's why Chinese people give you urban clothing. That's why you gotta go to the oppressor to get a gun license. You see what I'm saying here? I mean, really think about that. Do the Palestinians need a gun license?
No, probably not.
How about the Ukrainians? The Ukraine. Do they need a gun license? No. Why? Because they're free. They don't need no gun license. What they need a gun license for? The people in Beirut, they need a gun license. They can't have no felonies, and then they can get a gun. But the felons, they can't get no gun. Come on, this system that we're in is not normal. It's not. It's not a free system. We're not free. Okay, so what's free about having to not have any felonies to get a gun? What's free about that? Somebody's telling you that you got to do it. It's not black people that came up with that law and said you got to do it, and then only certain people, and then somebody said, okay, you only can have this many bullets, you can't have this kind of gun, it can't be like this, and all of that. Who's coming up with all of this? It ain't niggas. It's white folks that's coming up with all the rules, and we live by the rules because what? It's a what? I'll read it one more time. It's a what? A memorial to what?
A memorial of their foolishness.
Right. That's the memorial. Everything that we do in America is a memorial of our foolishness. Now, you don't get to do what you want to do. You get told what to do. That's our life in America. You get told what to do. You want to know what day you got off? This is the days you got off. You want to know what holidays you get to celebrate? These are the holidays you get to celebrate. You want to know how fast you can go on the road? This is how fast you can go on the road. You get my point? What kind of life is that? That's a memorial of our foolishness, man, because we get the hurt from the Lord. And because we get the hurt from the Lord and we learn that way, this is why we're in the position that we're in, man. We're in this position. You think niggas is going to go all team up and go to Africa? Nope. Because guess what? Niggas owe child support. You ain't getting on no plane. Where you going? As soon as you're trying to go, like, we going to Africa. Where you going? Where you going? You going to Africa? No, you ain't. You ain't getting on this plane. Because you what? You owe child support. You owe tickets. You owe fines, restitution. Where you going at? You get my point? Like, that's not freedom. There ain't no such thing as freedom. Niggas be thinking, man, I got freedom because I can do this and I can do that. And no, you don't. You just got liberty to do what you want to do inside of a system that's controlled by an external force. All right, but I'm going. I digress. Let's go a little bit more.
So that the things wherein they offended, they could not so much as be hid.
Right, because we can't be hid. Because guess what? Where it's at? Social media. It's everywhere. Everybody know that it's a memorial of our foolishness. Every time you turn on a damn Facebook, you see a cop video of some black person getting violated. You see a video of some black person complaining about being treated racially in a damn restaurant. Because that's a memorial to our foolishness. And guess what? You can't be hid. Because guess who else see it? All the other nations see it. You think when the Chinese person whoop your tail, whoop a sister's tail for trying to steal eyelashes or a wig out of a beauty supply store, you think the other agents don't see it? And then they get emboldened by it too. And guess what they say? If they come in here and try to steal, if a sister come in here, a black woman try to come in here and steal a wig or steal some eyelashes, we're going to get a broomstick and whip her tail out of here. See what I'm saying? Memorial to our our wickedness. I mean, say it one more time. A memorial to our what?
A memorial of their foolishness.
Foolishness. Keep reading.
So that in the things wherein they offended, they cannot so much as be hid. Verse 9. But wisdom delivered from pain those that attended upon her.
Right. And the only way you're going to get that, man, is by endurance, man. Enduring through this truth. Passover after Passover after Passover after Passover, Day of Atonement after Day of Atonement after Day of Atonement, every Feast of First Fruits after Feast of First Fruits after Feast of First Fruits. Every camp after 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 camp. Endurance. So what can you do with something that you can't change? Embrace it.
Just do it.
Where's the next camp at? Oh, it's in Trent? Let's go. Where's the next camp at? New York? Let's go. Where's the next camp at? North Carolina? Let's go. Where's the next camp at? Florida? I ain't gonna be able to make it this week. But guess what? Where's the next camp after that? Delaware. Let's go. You get my point?
Nice.
Year after year after year after year. What you thought the truth was going? What you thought it was like? It's all gonna go down in 1 year. Your first year? No. You go to the Hebrew Academy and you got your cover. Guess what? You got to work to keep it.
Right.
Year after year after year, it's gonna get dirty. It's gonna get worn out, and you're gonna have to buy another one. Get my point? That's how the truth is, man. And people that can't endure the truth, they're gonna be off to the side, surviving a cult, telling us about what we should be doing while you're not even in the game at all. You know what I mean? While we're fighting a battle with 5 swords. You got 5 swords in your hand fighting a damn battle when the person that ain't got none is telling you how you should fight. You get my point? Endurance, man. That's what the truth is about. And I pray everybody in here has endurance, man. You give the truth 5, give it 10. You know what I mean? You give it 10, give it 20. Always, the whole goal is to always increase and do more, man. Endure to the truth, and you should be good to go. Give us your years, man, and you'll be right, man. You'll be all right. All right, no sweat. All right, we out of here. Anybody got anything to say? No? Yeah? All right, we good. All right, I'm going to turn the class over to Precinct Officer Kwayat Swan.
This is the ISUBK security announcements. Rules for new brother and sister. When a new brother and sister comes into the school, they are to be off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to learn and shove themselves of the world. If you need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if the brother or sister has interest in a particular person, they are to seek counsel from the heads. Tithes, which is a commandment, Numbers 18 through 21, Ma'ashia 3, verse 8 through 10, means 10th in Hebrew. 10th for every penny of any increase the Lord gives you. Free will offering for the priest, not mandatory, whatever amount you like to give. Upcoming holy convocations.
The Feast of First Fruits.
The Feast of First Fruits.
No, the Feast of First Fruits, yeah. But I could, I'm not 100. Feast of First Fruits, right? Is what?
Yeah,
June 17th is the Feast of First Fruits.
If anybody wants to be a trooper in the school, wear all black boots, headband, and scarf. With that being said, men of Israel, Amajah. Amajah Sabrat. Amajah. Barak. Sorry, turn to the sisters. We'll get the sisters a courteous salute. Men of Israel, Amajah. Amajah Shabbat. Amajah. Barak.
Yahweh Shema, done by Shem Yahweh.
That class dismissed.
Yeah, y'all was time. All right, no sweat.
I gotta remember to say that.